he owns a restaurant, and I'm doing this restaurant campaign giveaway, and we ended up meeting, and I was sharing with him at that time about how the miracle morning and how excited I was about it. And I get up in the morning now at 4:30 and I journal and I read. And he told me last night that I inspired him and now he's reading in the morning. And so, and then his girlfriend was writing down the books that I, have read. And it's just kind of fun to rub off, I guess, on some people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So anyways, it's kind of interesting to me. So, okay, so we're recording, and this is our second mastermind of the 7 levels of communication by Mike Mayer. And last time we talked about chapters 1 through 3 and got started. And if you haven't even started reading this book yet, doesn't matter. You're just going to get some good content. And if you have read it, it's going to be a good reminder to go back to it, because this book just has a lot of just natural, like we were talking about organic, Jeff, you were talking about that organic, natural feeling of just developing relationships. But, some of us are not skilled at it. And it does take skills, training to learn, about developing relationships. I mean, it comes natural to us in some degree, but just integrating systems with it doesn't feel natural. So anyway, so this book helps us. So if you're here, you haven't read it yet, it's fine. We recorded the first session, and it's in the group. I'll repost it after I post this. I'll be posting this later tonight, this recording. But anyway, Julie Younger is kind of my partner in crime here. She is the one that has agreed to kind of lead the talk on the content. And the reason I had asked her to do this is because of her passion for Miracle Morning. This book is related, so I knew she would like this book too, and she does. So anyway, we're here from everybody all over the country. We're Eastern time, and it's early in the morning. It's 9, and Julie's, it's 6 a.m. her time. So anyway, Julie, we're ready to go.
Okay, let's do it. Affirmations and a blessing book. So,
so you just go from your notes. I do topics.
Okay, well, so Rick he writes affirmations down, and he writes his blessing book down, and he's basically seeing a difference.
He's seeing a difference, like he's noticing a change in his attitude and his step, and things are starting to happen for him.
Yep. Affirmations plus 5 things you're grateful for every morning. He was writing these things down. The Rainmaker affirmation, which is each and every day someone somewhere in my city needs my services. My job today is to find that person. So he reads that every day. I think he puts it on his bathroom mirror, and he believes that. And then, that is, what would you want a client to say about you, or write on your tombstone, right? That one is hard for me, because there's just not enough words to describe me. So no, I'm kidding. So that one, I'm struggling with that one. I haven't completed that one.
So here's what so I told Mary Kay for 8 years, and I will tell you, I feel like I don't care if you're a girl, a guy, if you're interested in learning how to do sales, I feel like everybody should be in Mary Kay for 1 year. And participate in the trainings, because the mindset training is really amazing, actually. But Mary Kay taught, and this was when I first when I first kind of dabbled in Mary, because I dabbled in Mary Kay in my like early 30s, and I just kind of didn't do much, and then but I came back to it in 2008, and then I did it for 8 years, like almost full time. So, but anyway, but when I remember when I first dabbled in it and first heard Mary Kay say, you know, imagine everybody is wearing a sign around their head or has a sign on their forehead that says, make me feel important. You know, make me feel important. That everyone's got this sign around their neck or a sign up for it says, make me feel important. And so that really stuck out to me. And an interesting thing happened. I remember it was 2003 or something. And I had a cell phone, and it was like something called Cricket, which we had in Idaho, but it's now it's everywhere. But that was my cell phone. And I went to go pay the bill, and wouldn't let me pay cash. They wouldn't let me pay for it at the store. It had to be cash. And I remember it made me really mad because they didn't have cash. And they said I had to go, that I could go to, or they didn't have change. That's what it was. Something like they didn't have change. I don't remember. It was something that made me upset. And I had to go to the store next, like a business next door, like the Chinese food restaurant next door, to get change. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I need to pay the bill here, and you're telling me I have to go to a business next door to get change, their change. And you know, it just didn't make sense to me. And I was very upset, and I was treated the girl not nice. I was just like a bitch. And then I went to a Mary Kay meeting that night about make people feel important. And like, and what is my right to go around thinking that I own the world and like people owe me things, you know? And so anyway, I was like, it really spoke to me. I'm like, I was a terrible person. Like I should, like if it were me on the other side of the counter, you know, I wouldn't feel very good about that. And that would make me feel bad. So I went back to her the next day and I said, you know, I am so sorry. I was frustrated and I took it out on you, and it had nothing to do with you. And I just wanted to tell you that I am really sorry for how I acted. And she's like, thank you so much. So anyway, but that changed me like forever. Like after that, I mean, I still have my moments sometimes, of course, but I think when I think of this 12-word epitaph, I think, you know, did I make people feel important? Because I know for me, when somebody else acknowledges me and takes a minute to praise me or acknowledge me, that makes me feel like $1 million. And it makes me associate that feeling with them, you know, with that other person. And so I guess what I'm constantly thinking about is, and I want it to be more natural, is, you know, did I acknowledge that person? Am I making them feel as good as I want them to make me feel? You know, and so I think this 12-word epitaph is like, you know, they made me feel important and acknowledged and liked and a person, you know, I mean, that's what I'd want somebody to say. So when I saw this, that is the memory, and that is the concept I thought of. So I hope that helps you.
Hey Jeff, do you have anything to add on that? I think that's what, I mean, that's what my goal is to help change, you know, people's lives. That's why I'm in this business. I love real estate, and what we do, you know, to people's lives, and how we make them, you know, feel during the transaction and changing their world. It's important.
I think for me, you know, I talked last week about how organic this whole thing is. What's ironic about that is it doesn't feel natural to me when I sit down, like the handwritten notes. I've been intentional this week. I actually ordered some pretty cool little random type notes to, you know, some that say you rock, or, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And sitting down and doing it, you know, I'm like, it feels cheesy, right? But then as you were sitting here talking, my head's going, and I thought, oh man, I have an old neighborhood kid that we went to school together. I left after high school for a few years and then came back, and I run into him all the time. We're literally childhood best friends. We lived down the street from each other. We walked to school together, and I get to be back in my hometown and see this guy. You know, we're not tight, but so I'm sitting here thinking, well, I'm going to send him a cool little note. It says, man, I'm so glad I get to run into you and your family out and about or whatever. And I'm thinking, I know how he's going to respond to that because I know how I would respond to it. And so
Right.
it's silly that it feels silly. So I think you just have to remember the motivation, or if you maybe look at the end result, maybe not have high expectations for it necessarily, but if you look at the end result, I think it becomes a little more natural.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
I think so. So which leads us into the 7 steps to a powerful note. Thanks, Jeff. So of course, Rick's coach is giving him tips on how to make a powerful note, and these are how to do it. So he kind of got scolded for using a note that was branded. So definitely, I think, didn't Sylvia mention to like for me it would be a J. Like you could do something that kind of,
It could be a monogram.
yeah,
So
monogram.
This is so interesting. So since I've kind of delved back into the book when we started this, it reminded me of something I used to do when I sold cars. And because nobody at the car dealership was doing what I was doing, and it was really working for me. What I did is I wanted to write like a handwritten note or send a newsletter or send something from the dealership just to remind them I existed. And so, but we had, and I didn't want to buy my own like colorful envelopes, and this could be really expensive. So we just had these dealership envelopes, So I would handwrite their address and who it was to, and then put my information on the back. But I wanted it to be look like Happy Mail, something that would be, this would be nice to open up, So I ordered from Amazon these 2-inch round Happy Face stickers. And I put those stickers on every single thing I'd send. And then people start saying, they would call me hey, I got your note. And then they come in and they say, oh yeah, I already know what you're sending me because it's got the Happy Face sticker. And it was so it kind of became my trademark. And I think that in my real estate business, I started to try to bring that into it, but I kind of got away from it. But going back to this, I thought, I'm going to do that again. They're going to remember who I am. And a lot of my car customers are still in my database. So when they get this, they will be like, oh, that's Sylvia.
Here's that Sylvia again. Yeah.
There she is, her smiley face sticker.
So you unbranded with a symbol that represents you. Use blue ink. Apparently,
it's a happy color.
It's a happy color. Okay. Use you. Don't use I or me or my. So address it with you. Be specific in your praise. Let's see. Leverage positive projection.
I was hoping you would expound on that from your notes because
okay.
I just topics.
Okay. Be specific in your praise. Identify and acknowledge a characteristic, a talent, a unique quality. So somehow connect with in this note to someone, and leverage positive, the power of positivity projection. Identify a personal characteristic you want to improve and express respect for the other who possesses that quality, like happiness, wealth, balance, etc. Everybody wants to be kind of praised for something they're doing good.
Acknowledged for something that they're bringing to the table. Yes.
Yeah, that they. So in other words, you're recognizing something about them that they're doing that is inspiring you. That's huge.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? And I'm sorry to be a talker this morning, and I think maybe I'm a little slap happy because like 4 hours of sleep.
I've got 4 hours of sleep too, so I'm right there with you.
Okay, but it reminds me of just like relationships, either friendships or romantic relationships. Well, I'm single, and this is probably the reason why. But you know, when I am in a relationship, like if that other person like they don't ask me questions about myself, or they don't like say that, you know, hey, this is who you are, you're good at this, you know, it's then, you know, or they don't take time to listen, you know, I'm not that, you know, I'm not into that. So my best buddy Rebecca, who was somebody I actually ended up recruiting to EXP, but I did not know her before I recruited her. That's how we got to know each other. Now she's like my best friend, but she's just somebody who she's like a great cheerleader, like acknowledging you. You know what? You are good at this. You are good at that, you know? And it's like, I am? Okay. You know, and it makes me, you know, what this leveraging positive projection and being specific and praise, like it's so important for relationships. So I just wanted to mention that this is just, I don't know, it's relationships 101, but I like it.
Yeah. So the coach is giving tips saying that you need to write the text, like slope it, write rightly, slope text, slightly upward from left to right. I'm not really, I guess that just makes it more like it's handwritten type versus a type, or
like happier, or I don't know.
I don't know, Ryan.
Jeff wants to say something.
I actually, I started the research on that topic. If you notice in the audiobook, he says something about a world of information on that topic alone.
Oh yeah.
So I have a bunch of different URL or tabs open on my browser that I haven't really delved into yet, but there is a plethora of philosophies on what penmanship and how certain. So apparently that is one that, first of all, it's like transparency, like you're being real. It's not uniform and straight and you're trying to impress somebody. And there's some other positive references there, but there are a ton of sources for that topic, definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, if you find a couple, you know, if you glance at a couple most interesting ones, will you just post them in our workplace group?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Then, the power of the PS. So it says here, I wrote here, use PS as a call to action. Ask the recipient to take action, such as emailing or calling. So, yeah.
Okay. I want more about this call to action, because like I was thinking about that first, in the first chapter, I think in the realtor that wrote the note, she got 77 responses. Like, what was her call to action that generated that?
Yeah.
Actual response, somebody to actually like pick up the phone or write the email, whatever they did to, you know, to respond. What did she do? That's what I want to know. Let's talk more about this call to action.
Yeah.
Jeff.
I don't know how. I don't think they talked about how she.
Yeah, they don't.
No, but I think the call to action is simply, hey, give me a call, let's do coffee, or send me that address we talked about last time we saw each other. Something for them to take action on instead of, hey, I have this nice card, oh, thanks, and you know.
Yeah. A follow up. So, for instance, if you're saying, you know, I saw you post on Facebook the other day, you surfing at the ocean. Hey, would you like to make a day trip with me sometime and go surfing? Right? I mean, so then you're pulling in something that they've done that kind of connects the two of you and maybe a future meeting.
I think the idea is fostering that next level of communication.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the call to action is probably one of the most important things, because it's going to lead you to the meeting, in the next phase. Like you said, not just a note that says hi. So,
Right.
yeah.
I want to say more things, but I'm going to be quiet because I don't want to monopolize. Okay, go. Next.
Oh yeah, the sex suicide, the breakdown before the breakthrough. So I have here the breakdown before the breakthrough. Something inside of you is trying to sabotage you. So inside your head, you start questioning yourself and whether or not you know, you are understanding things right and seeing things right, and you're starting to question yourself. I think that when you question yourself, I think that is like suicide, right?
Well, it is, but also like it's happened to me several times in my life, where everything's going great, things are happening, you're moving forward, you're working hard and having and you feel like a lot of things but then you get sick, and you can't, you're and you're like, or something, somebody dies. Something, emergency happens, and it's like you're totally put in this position where you could be thrown for a
Your
loop,
momentum stops.
Yeah. So you have to, anyway, he's like, you have to persevere for that. And that's, like my dad, things were happening for me. I quit I had another full-time job, and I quit September 1st so I could do real estate full-time because that happened September 1st, and my dad went into the hospital September 20th on his birthday, and 21 days later he died, and it totally threw me completely off. Like, and I didn't realize it. I didn't realize how much it affected me. Like, I was working and doing stuff, but it wasn't happening. Like, I was so overwhelmed, and but I don't know what to do about that. But I mean, I think just me being aware that what's happening, being aware of, okay, life happens, you get sick, emergencies happen, but you still have to move forward. So you have to push through it. And that's a challenge and a half.
Well, because that's called life, Sylvia. We always will have challenges. That's what member fail forward. That's what every day is a challenge. And so you have to keep persevering forward. Yeah, I hear you. I think that that is huge, and that's why that the book, the Shadow Effect. I don't know if you guys read. I read that one, which was really trippy. I should probably reread that one, but it was kind of freaked me out a little bit. But yeah, it's your mind basically trying to
Sabotage you.
Sabotage you, I guess. Yeah.
Fun. Okay,
next. Time. This is here we are with you, Sylvia. Time blocking.
We're time blocking. This is
be there 100%. It says being there 100%. 80% of your time. 80% of your time to be on the phone or in front of people. So this section, I think, is going to kind of talk about the pyramid that we talked about.
The communication pyramid?
The communication period, or pyramid. So he's talking about time blocking hour by hour, and staying in that influential zone 80% of the time. And the influential zone is phone calls, events, and seminars. Those were the things to stay in the influential zone. So apparently 80% of the time is what he's recommending, that you stay in that zone. So, so schedule white space, open time 1 hour. Schedule white space. So you have 1 hour of open time, kind of to maybe regroup or
do whatever. Have that flexibility.
Yeah, flexibility. And then he's recommending 4 hours each week for focus calls to people in your community. And he calls it the hour of power. These are calls to people in your database. The phone calls are a struggle. I mean,
yeah, they are for me too. I don't know why. It's like, I feel like such a champion if I talk to like 2 people in a day. I'm like, look what I did. Yeah. Jeff, what are you thinking?
Well, I wonder if between us, we could find somebody that is actually sort of an expert in time management under this philosophy, under Mike Mayer's, because there's so many deep topics there that your typical time management seminar or guidelines are probably not going to cover all this. Now, I've done Hank Avink's Time Management 365, and it definitely incorporates this. The seminar or the session I was in with him, we didn't necessarily delve into like the hour of power and that kind of thing. So I'd be really curious to hear somebody that is sort of an aficionado, because I think that is every real estate agent's major struggle. And even the ones that are really good at it, I think they would say, but I struggle to do it.
Right.
I can only imagine, having right now I'm working with like 8 clients, but not like, they're not in the same stage as them all. I actually just this week got my first EXP deal in escrow.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that, and hopefully today I'll have a second. So I mean, but I can only imagine once you get more and more people and clients, and how can you keep up with all of that stuff? I mean, I'm realizing that now that I'm fully focused on real estate full time, that it's easy to become an alcoholic because you're entertaining so much. You know, I got home at 11:30 last night with my husband from entertaining a couple of people. So it's easy to become an alcoholic, but it's also easy to be distracted every day. So the time blocking, I would love that, Jeff, if we could find somebody that could maybe mentor us.
Jeff, you learn it and then teach it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind that idea whatsoever.
Get your shit together, and then you teach us.
There you go. Yeah. All right, well, let's challenge. I'll take a look at
that. Okay, 1st and 10 calls.
Yeah, 1st and 10 calls. People you're showing houses to, referral sources, other agents, networking, contacts, team members, potential clients. So he's recommending that you call these people just to touch base and say hello. Is that what you were getting out of that, Sylvia?
Yeah, and he kept referring to 1st and 10, 1st and 10. Like, what does that mean? Like, the first thing to do in the first 10 minutes of the day? Like, what are we talking? I don't know. What do you guys have any ideas? Why, is it just, it's just a title to this activity?
Yeah, I feel like when you look at the website with the resources on it and stuff, it really doesn't touch that topic, or it doesn't explain why it's 1st and 10. Last week after this call, I spent some time on the website to see what else was out there, or if it broke it down. But remember, there is a resource guide that goes along with the book for $500.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm sure for $500 it would explain that topic, I would hope. But no, I actually don't really know. But I think I would assume the idea is to be not to miss the point that you need to be communicating with those that you're in transactions with and you're actually doing business with. To not set aside the idea that you're actually working with clients as opposed to trying to bring new clients in as well.
I'm just going to call it the first phone call tasks to do. That's what I'm thinking it is. The first phone calls I got to make every day are these phone calls. That's what I decided. I like it.
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah, I believe it's your first 10 phone calls you have to make.
Oh, Sean. Okay. Yes. At first 10 phone calls?
Yep. So at night, when you're leaving the office, you set that up, who you're going to call first when you get to the office. And then as soon as you get to the office, you call those 10 people.
What is your accent?
I'm in New Jersey.
Okay. In the office.
New
I
Jersey.
didn't realize I had an accent.
Because, I moved from Michigan in 2009. I moved to Philadelphia, Phoenixville, near Philadelphia, for a couple of years. And I loved it. When I first got there, it's like, everybody sounds like they're in the movies, you know? It sounds like they were from Boston or New Jersey or Philadelphia or New York. And I loved it. So anyway, cool. So, okay. So before you leave your work at the end of the day, you know, who are the people I have to call in the morning? At least the first 10 people for sure, or groups of people.
Right.
And I'm going to have that together, and then I'm going to go, and then when I first am ready to start making calls, that's who I'm going to call. I like it. Thank you.
Right. And what I would even do is I would plan it out with that person and be like, do you have time for a 2-minute phone call tomorrow morning at 9:15?
Okay.
And then you do that with the next person. Do you have time for a 2-minute phone call at 9:30?
Do we actually do that? Because you sound really organized.
Personally, I haven't been doing that.
Okay.
People on my team do that. David DeVoe, who I'm partners with, does that all the time.
Okay, you're going to learn it then, and you're going to teach us. That sounds great.
There you go. Yeah, let's put this on Sean.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So for enriching rituals. So morning ritual, like affirmations, blessing book, personal preparation, and exercise. That's from the Miracle Morning. I got that from the Miracle Morning.
Okay,
So,
good.
yes. And then pre-leave ritual. So right before you leave for work, get your desk in order, write down the first. That's just what Sean was talking
Exactly
about.
what Sean was saying. Good job, Sean.
Yeah. Your pre-sleep ritual, reading and visualization. So before you go to bed, I guess you do these things. And then
do you know what I do? I work, and then I lay down and go to sleep. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I have to do a ritual.
So the Sunday night ritual, and it says here, look at the entire week's schedule. Make sure appointments are in order. I actually can honestly say that I have tried to do this. I know that I noticed that EXP sends out their training schedule over the weekend and
Thursdays or Sundays.
And I do try and look at the calendar, and I add things in there onto my calendar that I know I like. I don't always do everything. That sometimes, maybe wanted to go to a marketing, on EXP, but it got bumped because I'm now meeting with a client or something.
Right.
So stuff does get bumped around, but at least I do try. And even I've done it a couple of times. I even you're gonna laugh, but I actually tried to meal prep.
I'm not gonna laugh. That's a great thing to do.
I posted it on Instagram and got some pretty funny comments. But yeah, so so I'm eating the same meal every night for a week. But actually, it helped out a lot, because when you are on the go, I'm finding that my nutrition, I think, is lacking, because plan too many things, schedule too many things in the day. So then by the end of the night, I'm just exhausted and, I'll eat not a very good meal. So meal prepping is actually kind of, but make sure your appointments are in order.
I
Arrange your
need a
clothes.
house husband. Can someone order that up for me? Okay. To do it.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
Alexa.
so arrange.
What? What,
I said,
Jeff?
hey, Alexa.
Yeah, Alexa.
Alexa.
Yeah, Alexa. She's gonna. I love Alexa. I wish she could do it. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then network stacking and home court advantage. So here he's talking about going to the restaurant and actually organizing your appointments and stacking them to where they actually will run into each other. And so they're overlapping. I kind of thought that was interesting. And I haven't done this, but I've actually tried to think, where would I do this if I did? Yeah.
Can I tell you a funny story about this?
Yes, please.
This topic, I actually rewinded the audio book when it got to this part and I went through the first time. I thought, man, that was really interesting because for me, I'm in a small market. I'm in my hometown and my office. I do have a branch office here, but I'm literally, I think, 4 blocks from the house I grew up in. 2 blocks. The 15 years I've been in real estate, I've never worked more than 2 blocks away from where I am right now. My wife works at the middle school as a teacher. That's 2 blocks away from me. My mom works 2 blocks away at a salon. This is just, but the crazy thing is we have a bunch of little restaurants downtown. And when I thought about which one I would go to, I thought, man, I can't right now think of a bunch of people that go there that I would kind of be able to carry that same clout that she did in the book. Is it Michelle, I think? And that week, my wife and I went to dinner at the hotel restaurant and here in town. And we as soon as we walked in, and I had this conversation with her earlier in the week and telling her I was kind of looking for a place to be my place. And when we walked in the doors of this place, I realized that my children basically grew up in this place because my father-in-law was one of the major investors in this property, and so that restaurant was just home base. So we walk in, and the waitress Pat, oh hey guys, I haven't seen you in so long. How are the kids? And we get another step farther, and 2 people at the bar are past customers of mine, and we're talking to them for a second, and she says, hey, you have a business card? I said, actually, I do. And I gave her one. She hands it to the guy next to her and says, see, this is the guy I was telling you about. And we go sit down and order our drinks, and somebody comes walking by. It's a past client of mine. Hey, my mom and dad are going to call you soon. So I'm sitting there laughing the whole time it's happening. My wife's like, I think you have your question answered.
Right. Like, where am I going to go?
What's funny about that is you put it out there, and then the answer came.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love that.
You put it out there. You were talking to your wife about that, right? And then so there was the answer. That is just amazing.
The best part is that she got to witness it, because sometimes when I share, these crazy business ideas with her or whatever, she's like, okay. That one was kind of like, oh wow, that's really sharp. So actually, starting next week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to camp out at lunch just to kind of start that, and then I'll start working on the networking stack and see how it works out.
Nice. Yeah, I totally want to do, and I don't have a place. I'm trying to think, I've been trying to put it out there too. So the closest thing I could think of was like, you can do Starbucks, the one on the corner near me, and I don't know. It's got the kind of it's the clients that go there are the kind of people I want to know. It's like in the area where it's a good area and a lot of activity. So, but it's tough. Because I don't know a ton of people. There's another Starbucks like inside a grocery store that a lot of people go to because they have a buffet of salad bar and stuff and pizza and and I used to sell cars in this area, and so there's a lot of people I used to sell cars with go there, and people but it's it's not as fancy. So I don't know. I want a place. That sounds so nice, Jeff. You already have your cheers.
I know.
I was just going to say that. I think I might be Norm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right, Sylvia, we got to get our act together.
Yeah.
We need to, and Sean and Mary.
Sean or Mary, do you do this where you meet with your network and like in succession, like, hey, I'm going to meet you at 9, then 9:30, then 10, and have these networking meetings? Bueller? Maybe not. That's okay. We'll go next.
Okay. Oh, Mary.
I can't hear you. Was that Sean?
Mary, I'm getting a real scratchy. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you better.
You're still coming up kind of scratchy. I didn't hear what your question was. I just heard Mary.
You were just talking about like networking and doing these stacking meetings, like at a restaurant or a coffee shop or something. Is anybody, and that's what one of the things the book is talking about and starts out with. Does anybody do that already and have a place that they do that at?
I've never done it like at a restaurant or a coffee shop. I guess I just network, period. If I'm in a line at a grocery store, I'm going to network.
Yeah, the grocery store works, I'm telling you.
When I want to network, I go shopping. Because I talk to everybody.
That's great. I like it. I want to go shopping.
Okay.
I go shopping, but I don't buy a lot. I just go to be around people.
Right. No, I understand. It's
I
nice.
remember when I used to be with Keller Williams, and I was in a bowl class. And our assignment was to go stand in front of Walmart and just talk to people.
Okay.
It actually worked, though. I got some referrals from there.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was at Mary Kay, that was something, going to Target and like striking up conversations with people. But I always felt like such a stalker. But anyway, okay, Frog.
Oh, no, that's not how you do it. What I would do, I would go, and I never start off with real estate, never. I start off with, I like those shoes, or I like something, and we start talking, and then I bring up that I'm a real estate agent.
Oh man. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. It's a natural thing.
Yeah.
That's great.
So the frog that you have up on your screen is family, recreation, occupation, and goals. Those are things that Rick basically was talking about doing. Like at the restaurant, you ask the hostess or the wait staff, or you basically are trying to connect in one form or another through family or through maybe sports or their work, and you actually ask them their goals. You're trying to connect. You're trying to create a relationship to where you can form a relationship, and so then they feel like you have interest in them. And then when you you interact at this place of where you go to meet, you introduce them to, say, your client, and you share a little bit about them, like their kid is graduating from college, or something that's important to them, and then that shows to your client that you're meeting is that you you know, that you are personable and you're in the know,
Yeah.
right?
And being being sincere, because don't you hate salespeople that start asking you questions like, "Oh, you married? Oh, you have kids? Oh, are you from here?" You know, it's just like, and you could just, I don't know, it just is like, I don't want to answer your questions because I just feel like I'm checking off your list. But anyway, so.
But yeah, be sincere. Definitely be sincere. Connecting with connections. So that I have written here. Check out the website for the event here. Find out. So when you're going to, he's talking about going to a connection or to a seminar or to somewhere. So he's basically, you know, saying do some research on it before you go, and maybe reach out to somebody that's organizing it and ask them to introduce you to, you know, maybe key people that are going to be there. So you're trying to connect.
Yeah, like, and asking them, who should I meet?
Yep.
Who do I need to know
And then,
about?
yeah, and then these people can be your kind of your guide. They'll steer you to the people that are influential there.
Nice.
You're also supposed to do that before the event.
Yeah.
Right. Before the
Reach
event,
out
right.
before the event. Yeah. They talked about Googling these people. Google these people so you know what to say to them. Maybe their interests or something that they maybe posted or just did, which is almost kind of creepy. But
Yeah.
I have here, go to the meeting with the spirit of helpfulness. Lead with a giving hand. So get there 30 minutes early. Wear your name tag on the right side, which I have my EXP pen that I've been wearing everywhere I go, and I've been wearing it on the right side because of this book. So when you shake somebody's hand, that kind of, you know, leads, it's kind of pointed at them. So meet the organizer and they'll point you in the direction that you need to be.
What's the magic question?
The magic question, how would your best friend describe you? It is important to know the behavioral style of your clients. So that's where we're getting into the DISC, right?
How would my best friend describe me? That's scary. Okay.
I know, right?
The DISC.
DISC. Yep. Dominance, influence, steadiness, and compliance. So.
Do you know what you are, Julie?
Pardon me?
What are you? Do you know what you are?
You know what? I have not really. I don't think I have taken the class or the test. I actually really need to. But I would guess I'm a D.
You think you're a D? You might have some D, but I think if you do, it's a low dose.
Really?
Yeah. Or you gotta develop it. Because I think you're more a CS personally, but I could be completely wrong.
Really?
I could be completely wrong. I'm an ID for sure.
ID.
What are you?
A lot of the people who teach stuff in the cloud in EXP, they all say they're high Ds.
Yeah.
I'm a high D and a pretty high S actually.
Yeah. No, I can see that you're an S. Yep.
Yeah.
How, Sean? You're definitely a D.
Yeah, just a D.
D. You're probably a little DI too. Mary's probably she's definitely an I because she likes to talk to people. She might.
I'm an IC.
You're what?
Can you hear me? I am definitely an I.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I knew you were an I. Yeah. So you can go into like Jonathan Dupree. Does he still teach the DISC classes in the cloud? In EXP World, he used to every week there was a DISC.
Yeah, they still do.
So okay, good. So anyway, All right, but it's good to know people's personality. Like it helps with your clients and your friendships, like to know how do they want to be talked to. So it's really interesting. I like in this book how coach always has him say, okay, call me and tell me that, you know, an offer got accepted to an I, or call me and say that you found a house for me to look at and I'm an S, you know, and that was interesting. I'm like, okay, I can see why that's so important. So, okay.
Okay. So 3 things that you should never mess with a person: his family, his home, and his money. Realtors need to mess with all 3.
Yep. What's the platinum rule?
Okay, the platinum rule: treat people the way they want to be treated.
Oh,
So
not the golden rule.
So, you know, we've always been told that from, you know, birth, treat others the way you want to be treated, right?
Great.
So treat others the way they want to be treated.
I like that.
Yeah, so care.
That's simple things like, how do you want to communicate? Do you want me to contact you via text, or do you want me to call you? You know, that's a similar sort of thing, you know. And then knowing kind of their personality style a little bit to help communicate. So, okay, I like that.
So I have here, care like everyone's an S. Okay. Smile like everyone's an I. Prepare like everyone's a C.
Oh.
And sell like everyone's a D.
That's nice. Say that one more time because it's really good.
Okay.
Rule, because Mary had to go out and come back in.
Okay.
So say it one more time. It's really
okay.
Good.
So the platinum rule: treat people the way they want to be treated, and care like everyone's an S. Smile like everyone's an I. Prepare like everyone's a C, and sell like everyone's a D.
I like it. Sell like everyone's a D, and that means get to the bottom line.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go fast now because we're almost.
Yeah. The F-bomb system follow-up. So the F word equals follow-up. Let's see, the F-bomb system is for following up, that you'll create your own one-on-one meetings, a 7-week series of power notes, direct mail, email, phone calls. At least 4 of the follow-up touches need to be phone calls. This 7-week series, power notes, direct mail, phone calls. And then use a success story for direct mail pieces and email. Also a gift to the one-on-one meeting. A relevant book could make a great gift for someone. You can prepare for one-on-ones by watching great interviewers like Barbara Walters or Rory Firestone.
Oprah Winfrey.
Read Daniel Goleman's Social Intelligence, or listen to Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And then we never want to say to someone, please refer me to your family or to your friends and family. You want to ask them to introduce you to those that they love and trust: neighbors, friends, family members, and coworkers. So so I have here, you said we're going kind of fast.
No, you're good.
Okay, I have here, this one is huge. A referral is like an emotional charged endorsement. Someone puts his reputation on the line for you. I think that's huge.
That is huge.
You know, when somebody refers you don't want to drop the ball. You don't want to make that person sorry that they did, right?
Yeah.
It is easier for someone to introduce you to a friend than refer you. So a connection is just what it sounds. Someone putting you in touch with an individual you should meet. Asking for a referral can make people uncomfortable. So I don't even like asking for referrals, and that has always been my biggest challenge, because I don't want somebody to think that maybe that's the only reason why I'm their friend, or
Right.
I reached out to them.
So basically, like, hey, who do you know that I should meet? Who should I connect with? Because, you know, you just never know, too, like, what somebody else can bring to you, you know, and what you can bring to them, you know, as far as, like, you know, I might need to meet them, not because they need me, but I might need them, you know. So
Yeah.
you know, I might need to know, who do I need to know? Who do you think I need to meet? You know?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, because then what's happening is then people get in that mode of, oh, I'm going to help you. Oh, I can help you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, I know who you need to meet, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, fun.
This was a good session.
It was. You did a great job. You had great, did all the key content that pulling out of that book that we missed. Like, as I listened to the audiobook, I know I need to get the hard copy too, but you pulled it out for me, and now the hard copy, it'll be more ingrained, because, like, you know this stuff, but just making yourself do it, right, Jeff? You got to make yourself do it.
You have to make yourself do it. And actually, yeah, do it now. I was just going to say that. This is the first time I've gone through while we're talking and just made some highlights in the book itself. And yeah, after having listened to the book twice and now going in here, it's crazy because I actually know where I should be finding stuff about that topic. But yeah, get the book, Sylvia. Come on.
Yeah, I'm so, I have to just say this on the record, Sylvia, I am so honored that you asked me to co-chair the book club with you on this, because it is actually, to prepare for the next week, I actually sit down and I look at the book and I go through every page and just kind of pick out stuff that I think is important. So, yeah. Where did Sylvia go? We lost her.
Sylvia, yeah. I called her out, told her
Right
to
when
get
I was telling her thank you, too. She left. Anyways. Okay, well, does anyone else have anything to add before we conclude this meeting?
No, this was great. I would just want to thank you guys for putting this together. So.
Yeah, I'm having a blast. I actually, it's fun to dissect the book like this, because there's so much in there, and it's so good.
So what do you think we're going to be talking about next week? You guys have that planned out, or?
I'm going to talk about chapters 6 and 7. So what I don't have the book in front of me, but I plan on going through chapters 6 and 7.
Okay.
And because I think there's like 12 chapters in this book club book, I think Sylvia had planned to be 5 sessions, and this is our second session on this book. So I was kind of thinking, well, if we just do 2 chapters, the first week we did 1 through 3. Today was 4 and 5, and so next week I guess I'll do 6 and 7, and then, you know, kind of, because there's just so much content. As you can see, we're already 5 minutes over the hour, and we really had to kind of push through the last stuff. So.
Exactly. All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. You guys all have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you guys next week. Good crush.
Okay.